All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I don't make this video too often because truth be told, it doesn't get a lot of views, all right? That said, I think it's really important we talk about the market today, all right? We're gonna look at the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and the Dow Jones, all right? It's funny, I think most of my views come from the S&P. Me personally, I like to trade tech stocks, so I always care about NASDAQ more, but I'll focus on those two the most, and then yeah, I'll give Dow Jones some love as well. But look, I hope you see what I see today. All right, we are below the 20 moving average on the NASDAQ for the first time in quite a while. All right, that on top of a MACD and an RSI that aren't looking fantastic has me a little worried. Now look, I am not here to say market crash. I am not here to say, hey, I'm scared, all that sort of stuff. That said, look, it looks like a cool down might be coming. All right. And what I'm going to be watching for, number one, is does it confirm tomorrow? And number two, is it a healthy cool down or is it something a little more? All right. So that's what we'll talk about here today. Again, before we go any further, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video on the internet, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do really does help me out, especially if you can actually share this thing. That would be very much appreciated, all right? So look, we'll start with NASDAQ and go to the rest, but there's a bunch of things that are actually a little scary here, all right? So first thing to talk about is this moment right here. On March 20th, we break over all 5 moving averages. And I say the same thing for a single individual penny stock. I say it for the same almost $14,000 NASDAQ. Get over all 5 and fly. Get below all 5 and die, all right? And this thing flies, all right? So good things happen over the 8 and the 20. And you can see it stays here for the most part, comes to the 20, actually drops to the 50, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about over here, right? But uses the 50 to get back over, gets back over on its own, gets back over on its own, uses the 20 like a champ, uses the 20 like a champ, uses the 20 like a champ, couldn't do it right here. And again, we've been below the line before, not that long ago, actually less than a month ago. A little bit more than a month ago, end of June or in early August, obviously, right? But end of June, we were below. The day after does not confirm, and then quickly after, we get back over the 8 and keep going, right? This, and look, let's also talk about this a little bit too. That was not a great MACD. That was not a great RSI. So in some ways, these two are the same. Volume's a little different these 2 days, though. It actually goes down the 2 days instead of going up, and both days are over the 50 average instead of here where it's only one and not the other, right? So, you know, just at least have to call out the volume, but it does seem like MACD and RSI are relatively the same on this 26-day, give or take. You can argue maybe that's a little bit more violent of a divergence. Again, divergence means going away from each other. Those are just bad divergences, right? We want the green going up, not going down, right? So I'll be honest, it actually, because look, this is also a horizontal right here, right? So it actually seems like we're gonna want to come down here to 13.7, right? And you know, we're talking about losing 300, right? $300 going from 9 something to 6 something. I'm trying to do the math in my head. That's basically 2%. Yeah, right there, beautiful, 2%, right? So it doesn't sound like a lot, but I always say it, and you can see it here. NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow Jones should only be moving 0.5% up or down. To be at -2 is actually the equivalent of -7 or 10 in my head, in all honesty. So I think we're coming down to the 50 moving average. Again, we've done it before. We literally did it right here, right? What I hope is we do the exact same thing. We hit it, we bounce, and we go. All right, we hit it, we bounce, and we go. All right, I actually told someone not that long ago I thought NASDAQ was going to keep going until about here. I haven't drawn a new line on NASDAQ in quite a while. I obviously haven't covered the video here, but you can see if I draw the line right there, it's actually a pretty healthy and like not, no, that's just a little low. It was in the, I think it was the top of this guy, like right there. It also hits the top of that. the wick of that, yeah, that 9-4 number. Sorry, 4-9, dyslexic a little bit. But look, you can see the spacing actually looks relatively the same and healthy. And yeah, I thought we were going to come to here before the cool off happened. Clearly, it looks like this 14-3 line is doing something. But one more time, in all honesty, I'm expecting this to come down. You saw what the 2% did today. I think we can all agree today was a relatively ugly day in the market. And I've been using the ugly days to average up. I'm actually a little scared to do that. I didn't go shopping very much today. There were a few holdings I had that I liked that I averaged up a little bit on, but I bought nothing new. And I actually sold a good amount of the things that I thought were going to, the quantum stocks that I was really excited about yesterday, yeah, I unloaded all of those. I am not holding ARQQ. I was holding QS. I got rid of that. Like, NASDAQ scaring me a little bit, and I think it's going to reflect on tech stocks. I kept Nikola. For whatever that's worth. I actually think Nikola might be able to survive this. We'll see though. I'll see what my decisions are going to be on that. But again, I'm not here screaming crash or anything like that, but I think we're going to repeat what happened here. I think we're going to come down to the 20. It basically, I mean, to the 50. Basically lines up with this line pretty well too. So the worst thing would be losing the 50. If we lost the 50, that's where I'll start getting scared because that's a big drop. That's going to take us below 13, right? But I'm not here saying that at all yet. Okay, this isn't a great weekly. We're still over the 8, which is good, right? And we've used the 8 to bounce a little bit. But again, if we lose this 8, that's a real hard fall down. RSI starting to look a little sketchy. MACD is actually kind of curving just a little bit. Again, still, I'm not here screaming be scared or anything like that. And look, this line, I gotta update my logo, sorry. This line right here, that's still a little low though. I don't want to be talking that close to 13. Yeah, this is an important line. We don't want to lose this. Even on the weekly, this is an important line because there's not a lot between here and the next one down. So NASDAQ, again, just a little to be worried. Let's look at the monthly real quick, and I'll do that for the rest of them. But yeah, there's still no moving averages right here. There's actually no reason why this is holding out. Again, I see this more as a healthy cool down than anything to be scared of, all right? So let's talk about the SP 500, the SPX. And look, I don't know if you just fast forwarded to this part or not, but this looks almost identical to the NASDAQ, all right? This is actually a beautiful view. So just in case you fast forwarded, this is the S&P 500. This is the NASDAQ. Both of them are basically touching, if not below the 20 moving average. And both of them basically have done the same takeoff in the same little window that I'm showing right here, right? This is where it breaks all 5 moving averages and takes off. That's roughly where we saw NASDAQ do it too, okay? Now look. This stock has actually lost the 20 a few more times than NASDAQ did. Happens here, happens here, happens here, happens here. Each of those times, this actually never touches the 50. NASDAQ actually did touch the 50, right? And again, what am I doing? I'm just kind of finding the similarities and trying to like put a little emphasis on that, right? But I think more than anything, the big signal that I think is scaring me on so far the both of these is both are under the 20 moving average. Both are starting to show really uncomfortable MACD and RSIs. Both are kind of doing this, I don't know if volume is going to start picking up the other way signal. You know what I mean? And look, this actually hits my golden line of trading, all right? These golden lines of trading where, I mean, this is where I was learning my technical analysis stuff. And I mean, I crushed it right here, all right? If we could have gotten into the goldens, oh my God, it would have been crazy, right? NASDAQ actually doesn't get that high. NASDAQ golden lines are right here, right? So I think the SPX actually coming to this resistance might make sense why it's turning. And I always say it, they generally do the same thing. When I say they, it's the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones. Like they move in unison, and this one hit a real hard resistance, my golden line. You know what I mean? So, and look, I've always said this. I generally put more weight on the moving averages, but once you're over all 5, there's nothing but the lines I draw. And knock on wood, I'm pretty good at the lines, right? So I love really seeing what was my, again, I'm not here at perfection, but my number was 4601. What was you? Dude, look at that. The high of here was 4607. I was off by $6. not too shabby, right? So again, I think we're coming down here. Down here is also a plateau, right? There is a natural plateau that's building right here. So same comments with NASDAQ. It makes sense that we're going to come to 14.4. Again, not a crazy drop, right? We're actually only going down like 100 something. But still, that's actually, yeah, I think it's less than 5%, right? Because 2 something would be 5%. So not overall a big scary thing, but hey, as long as the 50 catches this and we go back up, it should be okay. The moment this 50 slips, that's where I start getting scared. But plenty of room for this to do a healthy cool down and you know, recover. Again, same comment on the weekly. We're not under the 8. All right, back to NASDAQ real quick. We're not under the 8 on NASDAQ. NASDAQ's a little closer to it, but hey, if they hold, that's good. If they don't hold, it's a pretty hard drop down to the 20 here, right? So maybe it's worth, I'm not going to draw this line, but like, I think this is either something or this is something. Because it looks like if I put a line right here on those two, it hits those two right there. Damn, that's exactly the 8. Dude, you cannot lose the 8 moving average. I think losing 4.4 would be really bad. 447 is what it looks like, 4,470, right? So, and look, just because I'm showing SPY, let me go to the daily real quick. No, let's just keep it here. Let's go to SPY, right? So this is the ETF equivalent, the exact same chart. The same things I'm saying for the S&P 500, you say the exact same things for the ETF. Otherwise, if they are not connected, that's actually even scarier. They really should be moving in unison, right? So I am talking about the majors themselves, but yeah, if you're looking at QQQ instead of NASDAQ, if you're looking at SPY instead of SPX, SP 500, you can literally see the exact same comments right here on the daily, sorry, here on the weekly and here on the daily, the exact same setup. And look, this is SPY, this is SPX, literally a mirror of it, right? So scary on 2 of the 3 major indices, right? And that's not a good thing. Here is the 3rd one, all right? And look, Dow Jones actually breaks the first golden line and goes to the 2nd one. S&P 500 couldn't get past the first one. NASDAQ couldn't quite even get to it, right? So you can see that the 3 of them are around the same place. And again, this golden line ends up being a hard resistance for the Dow as opposed to the first one that was a resistance to the SP 500, right? But hey, green turns into red really quick. This is actually a little scarier, I think, because this might quickly fall down here. And again, it doesn't seem like it's actually another 1% loss is what it is. And again, I know 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is for a major market. And yeah, MACD looks like it's getting ready to slip. RSI was really high already. Look, this was a 90, especially if it was living in the 90s and the 80s. That's actually almost unheard of and absurd for a major indice. You know what I mean? So beautiful blocks of buying. We might see a little selling. We might see something like this. Again, I'm not here screaming crash. On the other ones, I was saying, hey, lose the 50 and I'll be worried. Here, lose the 20 and I'll be worried. The lowest I'm willing to accept is this to come here. Truth be told, hopefully we actually don't go that low. Hopefully we don't go below 3,500 and the 20 should still come up even if this thing comes down. So hopefully the 20 lands at about 3,500 and that naturally catches us and bounces us. But look, overall, I think let me just look at the weekly before. Yeah, again, nothing to talk about new on the weekly. Overall, I'm a little worried about what today signaled, okay? Again, I'm not here screaming crash. I'm not here screaming anything like stupid like that. But I think we might be resetting some things, which is a really good thing if you've missed some stocks, because a healthy reset can make for some beautiful entries, all right? So let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, hey, thank you.